World of Tanks, light tanks, and medium tanks for scouting. Tier 8. I'm going to review some of the tanks that I play in Frontline. We've got the Saladin, the Burask, the Udis, the Batchat 12T, the EBR 75FL, and the Lynx 6x6. Obviously, there's a lot more light tanks, but I chose these because they're kind of small, and these are like my first choice for playing a game like Frontline. Now, there's one thing that's really important is that you can't trust the statistics because the Saladin has a high top speed, but the acceleration is so bad that it makes it a little bit difficult to drive in the game. Now, in terms of penetration, the medium tanks like the Saladin and the Burask and the Udis have higher penetration and higher damage than the light tanks, which are the French light tanks, the Batchat 12T, the EBR 75FL, and the Lynx 6x6. So if you want to do more damage, more penetration, you're probably going to want to go with the medium tanks. In terms of armor, none of them have good armor. However, the 6x6 has the absolute worst armor. It's got like tier 1 armor. The highest being 16, with everything else being 13 around all sides. And the Burask only has 15 for the turret. So the armor is not going to do well, but it looks like the Udis has the best armor. The Saladin has amazing dispersion, 0.3. That's absolutely amazing, and I'm not using any equipment that improves the dispersion. I'm using the hardening and the repairs and for the engine power. So 0.30 is absolutely amazing. That means you can snapshot other vehicles. The top speed, they're all about the same. The Udis being the slowest, Batchat 12T being the fastest, but the EBR is the most maneuverable, and the Lynx 6x6, highly maneuverable, fast acceleration. With the Saladin, I'm always slow to get around, slow to turn. If you want to stop and change direction or you want to reverse, it's very slow acceleration. Once you get up to speed, it picks up. And this is using the turbo, the engine turbo equipment. I have it on this vehicle. It doesn't make it perform any better. And I'm using the food consumables. I got a great crew and everything. The Burask is an autoloader. The Batchat's an autoloader. The EBR's an autoloader. Having an autoloader is pretty good. And of all these tanks, I'm going to tell you, the Burask is fun to play. The EBR 75 and the Lynx 6x6 are fun to play. The Lynx 6x6 is really cool. Very easy to change direction. The EBR, it's a little bit of a learning curve because there's a maneuverability mode and there's a high speed mode, and it's a little bit tricky because it maneuvers so fast. The Batchat 12T is obviously pretty good for driving, but the Saladin, the driving performance isn't good at all. Even if you got to make a small turn, the driving performance is not that great. It does go off the side of a cliff pretty good, and climbing up, it really doesn't have the power that like a Lynx 6x6 has. Lynx 6x6 will climb easily. And I do put the engine power because I want to be able to jump. You really want to have, for these tanks, you want to have equipment that improves your suspension as much as possible. If you look at my vehicles, like the Saladin, you see I've got the modified configuration because it improves the module durability and the repair speed. And this one has improved suspension, which is the hardening, and the turbocharger, which I don't feel that it's turbocharged. And I'm using the pre-battle maintenance. I put this on just to use the directives because I'm not using this on any vehicle. So you know what? I'm going to put it on a vehicle that needs repairs often, which is this one, and I use the directive so that it repairs quickly. It brought the repair time from like 10.5 seconds down to 7.5 seconds. EBR, really fast, a little bit of a learning curve, but you know, the 6x6 is really fun. This is a fun tank, highly maneuverable. You jump around a lot. You want to put anything that has a good suspension on it. See over here, I have the improved suspension. And over here, I have the improved suspension, which means they're less likely to track you. You don't want to get tracked in a light tank. You want to keep on moving. And then the ELC is all about spotting. It should be for hiding because you use it for capping. And I'm also talking about frontline. These other vehicles, even though I have good games with the LHM TV and the other British vehicle, I don't enjoy playing them. The Senlac is the other one. I like the T92. But there's so many other great tanks, and I've been playing the Saladin in order to level it up. Once I level up the Saladin, I'm going to go back to the 6x6, the EBR, and the T92. It's got a low profile, but it's not bouncy. It's the LT432 that's bouncy. So this one, if you're chasing after somebody, they often bounce off the armor. And if someone's chasing after you, you just spin around and you should be able to bounce them. The Bulldog used to have a 10-shot autoloader, but I don't think it does anymore. I think they got rid of the autoloader. When it did, it was a great tank. The HWK is supposed to be like the RU-251. It doesn't compare. It's not as fast. I really don't like the Bulldog. It used to be a popular tank. LTTB, I don't care for it that much. These have good HE rounds, I think. 90 penetration for HE rounds. And I have good games with this vehicle. But I would say, of all these vehicles, if you're going to play a game like Frontline and you want a good tank overall, I would say the Lynx 6x6, the EBR, and the Burask. Saladin might be good for sniping because of the very low dispersion. And the aim time 1.71 is pretty good, but the EBR has the aim time 1.13. That's absolutely amazing. And the Lynx 6x6 has good aim time. Okay, so don't be fooled by the Saladin. It's not a great medium tank. The Burask is much better. Okay, that's my opinion. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.